Imagine staring at just like a blur of days, you know, a constant stream of tasks and information, feeling perpetually busy, but maybe not truly moving forward. You wake up, you go through the motions, check off the boxes, but end of the week, end of the month, it just feels like you're caught in a current, maybe not really steering your own ship.
Yeah, that feeling of being adrift.
Exactly. What if there was a simple but really profound way to cut through all that noise, to actually understand your own direction and unlock deeper, almost hidden insights from your everyday stuff?
Okay.
This isn't about adding another heavy thing to your to-do list, which is already overflowing, right?
Right, definitely not another chore.
It's about making everything you already do more meaningful, more purposeful, and, ultimately more fulfilling.
I like the sound of that. So today, we're not just scratching the surface here. We're doing a proper deep dive into the habit of reflection, exploring how just pausing, looking inward can fundamentally transform your health, reshape your whole mindset, and uplift your spirit.
It sounds big. It is. We'll unpack what self-reflection really is. Make sure we know it's not just daydreaming.
Good distinction.
We'll talk about why it's a genuine superpower for personal growth. Get into the common roadblocks, some surprising ones, actually, that stop us.
Yeah, those barriers are real.
And most importantly, give you practical, actionable ways to weave this habit into your already packed life.
The how-to. Crucial.
Our mission today is really to equip you with the understanding and the tools to turn daily experiences, big ones, small ones, into powerful lessons. Help you become more self-aware, make better decisions, and cultivate a life lived with, greater clarity, purpose, and passion. Okay, let's unpack this. So we toss around this word reflection quite a bit. But what are we really talking about when we say self-reflection? Is it just like zoning out, letting your mind wander, or is it something a bit more structured, more intentional? Because I know my own brain sometimes feels like just a whirlwind of unconnected ideas, and I'm pretty sure that's not productive reflection.
Yeah, that's a really excellent distinction to start with. It's definitely not just passive daydreaming or, letting thoughts idly drift by.
Okay.
At its core, self-reflection is an intentional introspective process. You're actively and deliberately considering your decisions, your feelings, your actions, your goals.
Intentional.
Think of it like consciously holding up a mirror to your inner world, really exploring everything from your strengths, your weaknesses or perceived weaknesses to your underlying motivations, even your hopes for the future.
Like a mental inventory?
Sort of, yeah. But dynamic. It's a continuous, lifelong journey that, as, loads of research suggests, benefits hugely from having some structure, some intentionality.
Right.
So it's not just a fleeting thought that pops into your head. It's more of a guided process, really, designed to give you actual insight.
So it's about active, intentional inquiry then, not just random thoughts swirling around. That makes a lot of sense. Because honestly, getting that whirlwind to settle down enough for intentional thought, that can feel like the first challenge right there. What's the very first step? How do you quiet that noise and start structuring that inner dialogue?
Precisely. The very first step is just recognizing that you are engaging in a practice. It's an action.
Okay.
When you engage in reflective practice, you're taking a kind of critical stance toward your own actions, engaging in this continuous process of adapting and learning from them.
Okay, adapting and learning.
And this leads to what's often called developmental insight, which is essentially that deep, really transformative understanding that helps you grow and evolve as a person.
Developmental insight, I like that term.
And the core idea here is crucial and maybe a bit counterintuitive for some. Experience alone, it doesn't necessarily lead to learning.
Really? You'd think experience is the best teacher.
It can be, but think about it. You can go through a tough situation 100 times, right? Make the same mistake over and over.
Guilty.
But if you don't deliberately pause and reflect on that experience, really break down what happened, how you reacted, what the outcome was, and crucially, what you could do differently next time, then true growth might just stall. Deliberate reflection is absolutely essential for it.
Okay. So it's the reflection on the experience, not just the experience itself.
Exactly. You're consciously looking at your emotions. Why did I feel that way? Your experiences, what actually happened versus what I think happened. Your actions, what did I do or say, and your responses. How did others react, and how did I process that reaction?
Right, breaking it down.
And then you use that information, that data, to build your knowledge base, making your understanding deeper, more nuanced, and this is key, more applicable to future situations.
That's absolutely useful.
Absolutely. And this can range from very formal stuff like, keeping detailed reflective journals or creating portfolios for professional development,
Okay.
to simply taking a few minutes to mentally revisit what you learned in a conversation or how a project went, just for a deeper understanding.
So it scales. It can be big or small.
Totally scalable. It's fundamentally about recognizing that you are continuously learning and building skills, and that this whole process can be dramatically sped up and deepened through conscious, intentional thought. It's really the difference between just existing and truly learning from your existence.
That's a great distinction. It's like the difference between just walking through a beautiful garden versus actually stopping to smell the roses, maybe understand the horticulture, figure out how you might grow your own.
That's a perfect analogy. Yes.
It sounds incredibly powerful. But let's be real, we're all busy, right?
Extremely.
Our calendars are jammed, our inboxes are exploding, social media is constantly yelling for attention. Why add reflection to that list? What's the actual payoff for investing this kind of precious time and, frankly, mental energy? Why isn't this just going to feel like another burden on an already overflowing plate?
It's a fair question, a really common one. But the benefits, they are truly profound, and they touch every single area of your life. Your personal well-being, your work, your relationships. It's an investment that genuinely pays dividends across the board.
Okay, convince me. What's the first big payoff?
Firstly, and maybe most fundamentally, it builds self-awareness.
Okay.
This is about deeply understanding your own thoughts, your core feelings, your personal values, your unique behavioral patterns, all that inner landscape stuff.
Right.
The more aware you are of these inner workings, the more likely your decisions will actually align with who you truly are and what you authentically want out of life, not just what you think you should want.
Authenticity.
Exactly. It helps you discover and tackle those nagging insecurities we all have, building real self-confidence and providing a much clearer path for your own growth. Think about it. How many times have you made a decision that felt maybe right in the moment, but later you realized it wasn't truly aligned with your deepest values?
Yeah. More times than I'd like to admit.
Yeah. Reflection helps bridge that gap. It connects your actions back to your core.
So it's not just about knowing what you're doing, but really understanding why you're doing it. And if it actually fits with who you are deep down.
Yeah.
That sounds like a powerful foundation.
Yeah.
What are some of the other key, maybe more tangible benefits people can expect?
Oh, there are many. And they often create this kind of virtuous cycle in your life, a positive feedback loop. For instance, that increased self-awareness directly leads to stronger relationships.
How so?
Well, when you understand your own emotional landscape better, your triggers, your communication style, your needs, you naturally develop greater empathy and understanding for other people. The psychologist Carl Rogers observed this profoundly. He said, "It is only when I can be myself, when I can accept myself, that it is possible for me to understand and accept others."
Wow. That's deep.
It really is. And this idea is huge in counseling theory. Therapists need to be self-accepting to truly accept their clients, right? And that creates this sort of parallel process where both grow.
That concept of parallel process, where my self-acceptance helps someone else become more self-accepting. That sounds really powerful, especially just in everyday relationships. Can you unpack that a bit more? How does my reflection make me better with my colleagues or my family and friends?
Absolutely. Think of it like this. If I'm internally battling my own stuff, constantly judging myself for flaws, ignoring my own emotional needs, how genuinely open can I be to truly understanding and accepting your struggles or your quirks?
Right. I might be projecting my own issues.
Exactly. My own internal chaos or unresolved bits often leak out, creating friction or misunderstanding in how I interact with you. But when I've done the work through reflection to understand and accept my own journey, the good, the bad, the messy parts, I cultivate a deeper well of empathy. I've walked that path of self-compassion so I can recognize and validate similar experiences in you without that knee-jerk judgment.
So it's like practicing empathy on yourself first.
Yeah, precisely. It's a fundamental principle. Our capacity for self-acceptance directly mirrors our capacity for accepting others. When we model that internal harmony, that self-acceptance, it creates a safer, more authentic space for others to find their own harmony in relation to us. It shifts interactions from just transactional to truly connective.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, what else?
Secondly, reflection contributes significantly to reduced stress and regulated emotions. We all feel overwhelmed, anxious, frustrated sometimes. That's human.
Daily occurrence for some.
Right. But how many of us truly understand why we feel that way or what our specific emotional triggers are? Journaling, for instance, is a fantastic tool for emotional regulation. It lets you process emotions constructively instead of just letting them swirl around or fester inside.
So it's not just venting.
It can be venting, but it's more structured. Imagine you've had a really stressful week. Instead of just pushing through, you take 10 minutes to write, what felt heavy today? What sparked that anxiety this morning? You might notice a pattern. Maybe it's always after a certain type of meeting or when you feel unheard. Over time, that journal becomes like data, a tangible record showing you your own stress signature.
Data on my own emotions.
Exactly. And once you identify those patterns, those triggers, you can develop proactive coping strategies, maybe setting boundaries before that meeting or scheduling a quick walk right after. It's about moving from being just a passenger in your emotional life to actually taking the steering wheel.
I like that. Taking control.
Okay.
What's next?
Thirdly, you'll likely see dramatically improved decision-making.
How does reflection help there?
By identifying patterns, themes, cause and effect links in your past experiences through consistent reflection, you can make much more informed and effective choices moving forward.
Okay.
It helps you clarify your deepest needs, your non-negotiable values, your real goals. This ensures your decisions aren't just impulsive reactions, but thoughtful, strategic moves aligned with your bigger picture.
So less reactive, more proactive.
Exactly. Think about a tough work decision. Instead of just going with your gut feeling, reflection lets you consider similar past situations, evaluate what worked and what didn't, and then apply those lessons learned. It brings historical data to your present choices.
Makes sense.
Then there's enhanced learning and personal growth. Reflection lets you deeply process and integrate new experiences or information. It solidifies your understanding.
So it helps things stick.
Yes, precisely. In school settings, for instance, reflection helps students assess their progress, analyze their efforts, plan improvements. It links directly to metacognition, which is basically thinking about your own thinking and critical thinking skills.
Thinking about thinking. Meta.
Right. It's a powerful catalyst for continuous personal growth. It helps you pinpoint areas for improvement and make targeted, positive changes. It moves learning from just rote memorization to true comprehension and real-world application.
Okay, that's powerful. Keep going.
It also leads to stronger memory and mindfulness. Regularly writing about your daily experiences, thoughts, emotions, it actually reinforces neural pathways in your brain. It aids memory retention.
Writing helps you remember.
It does. It's like replaying a tape and solidifying the recording in your mind. And the act of reflection itself encourages being fully present, fully engaged in the moment. It fosters a profound sense of mindfulness and a deeper appreciation for the simple, often overlooked daily things in life. You start to notice the small joys, the little details you might otherwise rush past in the daily grind.
Finding joy in the mundane. I like that.
And finally, maybe the most profound benefit. Reflection cultivates a deeper sense of meaning and purpose.
Wow. How does it do that?
By consciously reflecting on your life, your experiences, your values, your impact, you gain this overarching sense of fulfillment and direction. That clarity makes you more intentional about your actions, your decisions. You start ensuring you're not just moving through life passively, but actively shaping it, constructing a narrative, a story for your life that resonates deeply with your authentic self. You become the author, not just a character reacting to the plot.
Becoming the author of your own story. That's a powerful image. So it's truly like a ripple effect. You invest in yourself, you refine yourself through this internal work, and that naturally improves your relationships, your decisions, your well-being, your impact on the world.
Precisely. It's a bit of a paradox in action, as some scholars have noted. You get to know others better by knowing yourself. And you know yourself better through knowing others. It's about connecting your personal experience to a wider perspective, helping you see the bigger picture and how you fit into it all.
Okay.
And here's a really stark, almost shocking insight from the research on this. Despite all these undeniable transformative benefits we've just talked about, and despite how much people think they know themselves, studies consistently show that only a tiny fraction, we're talking maybe 10 to 15% of people, actually demonstrate genuine self-awareness.
Wait, only 10 to 15%? That's staggering. So it's not just a nice-to-have skill. It's something foundational that most of us are fundamentally missing, even if we think we've got it covered.
That seems to be the case. There's often a significant gap between perceived self-knowledge and actual self-knowledge.
Wow. Okay. Well, if it's so incredibly beneficial and so many of us think we're doing it or could do it, Why isn't everyone reflecting all the time? I mean, I know for me, like I said, it's often a struggle to carve out that quiet time. Life just pulls you in a million directions. Reflection often feels like the first thing to get pushed off the plate.
You're absolutely hitting on the biggest, most commonly cited barrier, which is that perception of no time.
Right. The ultimate excuse.
In our busy, hyper-connected, always-on lives, finding time for anything feels impossible, let alone quiet internal contemplation. We're glued to devices, constantly moving from one commitment to the next, often feeling this subtle guilt if we're not actively producing something or responding instantly.
Yeah, that pressure to always be on.
Exactly. But as you rightly point out, there are other barriers too. More subtle ones, often overlooked, which can make reflection feel uncomfortable, or even something we actively avoid.
Okay, like what?
Let's break down these common roadblocks, because understanding them is really the first step to getting past them.
Makes sense. Lay them out for us.
First, as you mentioned, no time. This is the immediate gut reaction for most people. Whether you're a student juggling classes, a parent managing a household, a professional facing deadlines, or all of the above, it's incredibly hard to justify adding another item to that packed to-do list. The common idea is that proper reflection needs long, uninterrupted blocks of solitude.
Right, like needing an hour in a Zen garden or something.
Yeah, exactly. And while that sounds lovely, it's not always realistic. It's important to reframe this. Reflection isn't an added chore. It's an investment.
An investment.
An investment in your mental well-being, your emotional resilience, your professional development, your overall clarity. It often gets seen as idle time, but it's deeply productive, like sharpening the saw before you try to cut down the tree.
Sharpening the saw. I like that analogy. What's another barrier?
Second, organizational or social culture. Some workplaces and even some social circles just don't value reflective practice.
How so?
In environments where busyness is worn like a badge of honor, or where immediate results are prioritized above everything else, pausing for introspection can be seen as unproductive, even maybe a sign of weakness or not being a team player.
Yeah, I can see that. Look busy, even if you're not effective.
Right. If your manager doesn't see it as valuable or provide support and space for it, it's hard to swim against that current. There's little incentive to pause if it's not acknowledged as contributing positively, or if your friends just want to rush to the next fun thing instead of talking about, feelings or learnings.
True. Peer pressure isn't just for kids. Okay, what else?
Third is a lack of skill or guidance. A lot of people new to reflection worry about doing it wrong.
The perfectionism trap.
Exactly. Or they simply don't know where to start. There's this common misconception that reflection needs to be done in a certain, rigid, almost academic way that can lead to paralysis by analysis. I don't know how, so I won't.
Yeah, fear of the blank page.
Right. But the truth is, there's no single right way. It's a deeply individual process. It might require some experimenting to find what clicks for you. That expectation of immediate, profound insights or feeling like you're failing if it feels awkward at first can be a huge barrier. It's like expecting to run a marathon on your first jog. You got to build up to it.
Okay, be patient with the process. Got it. Number 4.
Fourth, consider your environment. Finding a suitable physical or mental space can be surprisingly tricky.
Really? Just find a quiet corner.
Well, yes, but some people, counterintuitively, actually need a bit of buzz to reflect well, like a coffee shop with background noise or a park bench. Others need absolute silence, a dedicated space free from any distractions.
Huh. Interesting.
So it often means experimenting to find your ideal reflective environment, which isn't always easy to find or create in our daily lives. Imagine living in a small apartment with roommates or family always around. Finding that quiet or even that right kind of noisy spot can be a real challenge.
Yeah, good point. Physical space matters. What's barrier number 5?
Fifth, motivation. This one ebbs and flows for everyone. A constant feeling of no time mixed with maybe a lack of support from work or friends can quickly drain your motivation to reflect. Especially if you're reflecting on something you've been doing all day, like a demanding job or a tough personal situation. The last thing you might feel like doing is diving back into the very thoughts that exhausted you.
Yeah, wanting to escape, not dive deeper.
Exactly. Even people who've been reflecting for years face this dip in motivation sometimes. It's not a constant stream of inspiration. We're human. Energy levels change.
Okay, and the last one. You said it might be the hardest.
And finally, perhaps the hardest barrier to overcome is yourself. Internal resistance.
Ourselves.
Being reflective requires a level of self-insight that can be profoundly uncomfortable. even painful sometimes, especially if you're not used to it. It means potentially facing insecurities, difficult emotions, past mistakes, uncomfortable truths about yourself that you might honestly prefer to keep buried or ignore.
The stuff we sweep under the rug.
Exactly. This lines up with what they see in counseling programs. Students often initially resist self-reflection. They see it as irrelevant, impractical, non-productive at first, before they usually come around to finding it incredibly rewarding. But that initial resistance is real. It can feel like pulling back a curtain on things you'd rather keep hidden. And our brains are kind of wired to avoid discomfort, right? Even emotional discomfort.
So it's not just the clock dictating our busyness, but sometimes our own minds, our own fears, holding us back from truly pausing and looking within. That makes perfect sense. It's like we know we should do it, but there's this internal friction, this quiet but persistent voice whispering, keep moving, distract yourself, don't look too closely.
That's a great way to put it. That internal friction is a powerful force.
Okay, so we've covered what reflection is, why it's so incredibly important, and the often invisible, sometimes internal, walls we put up that stop us. Now, the big question, I imagine this is what many listeners are really leaning in for. How do we turn this powerful, transformative idea into a concrete, actionable practice in our actual daily lives? Where do we begin when we want to make reflection a consistent thing, not just a nice idea?
Right, the crucial pivot to the how. And the good news is there are many practical ways to approach it. You can absolutely find what fits your unique personality, your lifestyle, your comfort level.
Okay, good.
The key, as we've kind of touched on, is to approach it with some structure, rather than just aimless thought. That structure is what helps guide your introspection to produce real, actionable insights, not just more mental noise.
Structure is good. What kind of structure?
Well, one of the most powerful and well-researched approaches is using the power of directed questions.
Directed questions. So
Research actually shows that specific directive questions are way more effective for deep self-discovery than really broad or vague open-ended prompts like, how do I feel? They act like a mental roadmap. They guide your thought process and significantly reduce that frustration of not knowing where to start or feeling like you're just circling the same drain without getting anywhere meaningful. It's like having a wise guide asking you exactly what you need to consider right now.
So give us some examples. What kind of questions are we talking about here? Not just how was your day, I assume. Something that really digs in, forces you to pause and genuinely think.
Precisely. And the beauty is these questions can cover pretty much every facet of your life. Your core self, your future hopes, your well-being, relationships, work, everything. Here's just a taste, categorized to give you a clear starting point.
Okay, let's hear some.
For your general self, maybe questions like, how would I describe myself in 10 words or fewer? That forces you to be concise, clear.
Oh, that's tough.
It is. Or what are my strengths and weaknesses and how do they actually play out day to day? Who am I when absolutely no one is watching? And does that person match the person I show the world?
Ooh, authenticity check.
Totally. Or am I leading a life that truly aligns with my deepest values, or am I kind of just drifting along? These really push you to consider your core identity.
Okay, those are deep. What about the past?
For your past, you could ask, what's the single most important lesson I've learned in life so far? And how has it actually shaped who I am today? Or, if I could undo one specific moment in my past, would I? And more importantly, why would I?
The why is key there.
Absolutely. Or, what would I tell my younger self knowing everything I know now? What accomplishments, big or small, am I genuinely proud of? And what does that pride tell me about what truly drives me? These help connect the dots from your history to now, learning from what's already happened.
Makes sense. How about the present moment?
In the present, maybe ponder, what do I most genuinely enjoy about my current life? Right now, today? Or do I live in the present moment as much as I worry about the future or chew over the past? Why or why not? That's a great mindfulness check.
Yeah, definitely need that one.
Or even just what's not working in my current life that I realistically have some influence over. These ground you in your current reality and highlight areas for immediate focus.
Good practical ones. What about looking ahead?
Looking to the future. Where do I truly envision myself in 5 years? Not just job-wise, but personally, emotionally. What legacy, however small, do I want to leave behind?
Big questions.
They are. Or, what advice might my future self, maybe 10 years from now, give to my current self about what really matters? These help you visualize, plan, and create a roadmap that feels purposeful.
Okay. What about well-being? That's huge for people.
Crucial. For well-being, mental and physical, how do I genuinely practice self-care daily? Is it actually restorative or just another task? How would I rate my current work-life balance on a scale of 1 to 10? And what tiny tweak could nudge it up? What does optimal mental health feel like for me? And what daily habits get me closer to that feeling? Or the big one, do I love myself? And if not, how could I practice more radical, unconditional self-love? These are vital for just sustaining yourself long-term.
Wow. Radical self-love. Powerful. Okay, relationships.
Regarding relationships, what person or people bring me the most genuine joy and energy? Who fills my cup? What's my primary communication style? Is it effective in my most important relationships? Is there a relationship that needs repair or maybe just deeper connection? What's the very first step I could take? Or who sees the most authentic, unfiltered version of me? And do I feel truly seen and accepted by them?
These help you assess and nurture those vital connections.
Important stuff. And finally, work life.
And for your professional life, what do I genuinely like, maybe even love about my current career or work? What would I do with my life if money was no object? And how can I bring tiny elements of that into my current situation?
The dream job question.
Kind of. Or
Right.
am I earning an amount that reflects my worth and contribution? If not, what steps can I take to change that? These guide your career path and fulfillment at work. Those are truly powerful questions. They really make you stop and think, don't they? Not just skim the surface. I can totally see how just picking just one of those, and sitting with it for even 5 or 10 minutes could be transformative. It forces that internal dialogue we just rarely give ourselves space for.
Absolutely. And that's the goal, sparking that deeper internal conversation. Another really powerful technique, especially if you're stuck on a complex issue or a pattern you can't break, is repeatedly asking why.
The toddler technique. Why? Why?
Exactly. It sounds simple, maybe even annoying, but it's incredibly effective for drilling down to the root causes.
Okay, give me an example.
Say you had a difficult argument. You might start with, why did I say that hurtful thing? Your answer might be, because I felt attacked.
Okay.
Then you ask, why did I feel attacked? Because they criticized my idea. Why did their criticism feel like an attack? Because I tied my self-worth to that idea. Why did I tie my self-worth to that idea? Because I'm insecure about my contribution.
Getting to the real issue.
Precisely. You keep drilling down with follow-up why questions until you hit a core understanding, an underlying belief, or the real emotion driving the behavior. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion to get to the very center. It reveals the true dynamics at play.
Okay, I can see how that would work. Beyond questions, what else? Journaling came up.
Yes, journaling is a classic and hugely effective method for reflection. It's having a massive comeback, and for good reason. It can feel a bit messy at first, and that's totally okay.
Permission to be messy. Good.
Definitely. You can start with whatever's on your mind, a fleeting thought, a strong feeling, a recurring memory, even that annoying comment someone made earlier, and just follow the flow, let it out. It's about witnessing your mind's activity without judging it.
Okay, does it matter if it's handwritten or digital?
That's personal preference. Some find handwriting actually slows down the thought process, which can be great for deeper well-being, reflection, or processing complex emotions. The physical act can be quite meditative. Others prefer e-journaling because it's faster, great for quickly capturing a lot of thoughts, maybe describing a dream before it vanishes, or jotting down ideas on the go. There's no single right way. Experiment. See what feels best for you.
Okay, and should I just free write or use prompts?
Both work. Free writing lets you follow a pure stream of consciousness. Just watch your mind unfold on the page. It can be wonderfully meditative, very cathartic. But for gaining specific insights, especially if you feel stuck or your thoughts are all over the place, prompts are often more effective. They give you that clear starting point, that spark.
Like the questions we just discussed.
Exactly. Or even simpler ones like, today I felt, I am grateful for, I learned.
Yeah.
And hey, if full sentences feel like too much pressure, just use bullet points.
Bullet points. Less intimidating.
Totally. Just list out things that come to mind. It allows for fluid thought without worrying about perfect grammar or paragraphs. The goal is to capture the thought, not write a masterpiece.
Right. What are the big benefits of making journaling a habit?
The benefits are really significant. It lets you process emotions constructively, stopping them from festering. It helps you spot those recurring patterns in your thoughts and behaviors you might otherwise miss entirely. It creates a valuable, tangible record of your journey, like a chronicle of your own growth. You can look back and see how far you've come.
That's cool.
And crucially, it helps you recognize when things are going well, not just when they're tough. It fosters gratitude. It's easy to focus on problems. Journaling helps balance that perspective by highlighting the positives too.
Balancing the perspective. Nice. Okay, any other activities besides questions and journaling?
Definitely. Beyond personal journaling, think about other self-reflection activities that might involve some external structure or guidance. One is structured goal setting.
Goal setting is reflection. How?
When you set SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, timely, the process itself forces you to reflect deeply. You have to think about your current state, where you truly want to be, your desired future. It forces clarity and helps you align your daily actions and short-term choices with your bigger values and aspirations. It ensures your steps are purposeful, not just random activity.
Makes sense. Connecting actions to goals.
Exactly. And another incredibly powerful activity is working with a coach or therapist.
Right, getting professional help.
They offer that invaluable outside, objective perspective. They provide structured tools, insightful questions, compassionate guidance to help you assess what's not working and create actionable plans for change. That external support can gently nudge you to appreciate your strengths, see obstacles as opportunities, and strategically step out of your comfort zone.
A guide for the journey.
Precisely. Counseling programs, for instance, really emphasize introspection for their students. And while, as we said, initial resistance is common, those students almost always find it profoundly rewarding. It leads to heightened self-awareness, significant personal transformation. It provides a guided path for looking inward that can be really hard to navigate alone, especially with complex or emotionally heavy stuff.
That's a truly comprehensive toolkit. It makes reflection sound much more accessible now.
Yeah.
Not just for, sages on mountaintops, but for everyday, busy people like us dealing with modern life.
That's the goal.
But we keep coming back to that time barrier. It feels like such a huge hurdle for so many of us, the excuse we instantly throw up. How do busy people actually manage to fit this into packed lives without it just becoming another burden? Another thing on the to-do list that eventually just makes us feel guilty and discouraged.
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer is quite interesting. It comes from research, like Joseph Bederaco's studies on busy managers at Harvard.
What did he find?
He found the key isn't striving for some perfect hour-long reflection session. It's more about aiming for good enough.
Good enough. I like that. Less pressure.
Exactly. His studies showed that reflection for these really high-achieving, busy people doesn't necessarily happen in long, idealized periods of solitude. It happens in the cracks and crevices of everyday lives.
Cracks and crevices. Okay. Like what?
It's about finding small, consistent opportunities that you can weave into the existing fabric of your day.
Okay. Give us some practical strategies. How do we find these cracks?
Okay. First, integrating into existing routines. This is probably the most powerful hack.
Like habit stacking.
Sort of, yeah. Many managers Bederaco interviewed found clever ways to reflect while doing other consistent, low-effort activities, like commuting to work, going for a run, exercising, even mindfully cooking dinner. The beauty is, these activities engage just enough of your brain to do the task, but leave significant mental bandwidth free for reflection without feeling like you're just sitting idly.
Using that autopilot time.
Exactly. One manager literally said they found it really easy to concentrate in the car because there's nobody talking to me, and you can watch the road with about half your brain while the other half is at work reflecting.
Multitasking for reflection.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You can also integrate it into your morning coffee ritual, your evening wind-down routine, even while waiting in line somewhere. The consistent, low-pressure nature of these moments makes them ideal for building the habit.
Okay, piggyback on existing habits. Smart. What else?
Second, set aside regular, small amounts of time. Don't wait for that huge, perfect block of time that might never actually arrive. That's just a recipe for never starting.
Yeah, the someday I'll have time fallacy.
Right. Instead, commit to a consistent, manageable slot, even dedicating the last 5 or 10 minutes of your workday to quickly jot down key learnings. Or a few minutes first thing in the morning before the chaos begins. That can create a profoundly beneficial habit. Consistent short bursts are way more effective than waiting for those large, elusive blocks. You could even set a recurring calendar reminder or a phone alarm. Make it automatic.
Short and consistent beats long and infrequent. Got it.
Third, minimize distractions when you do set aside that precious time, however short. Sounds obvious, but it's crucial. When you are intentionally reflecting, even for just 5 minutes, Turn off phone notifications, close unnecessary browser tabs, maybe step away from your usual workspace if you can.
Change the scenery.
Exactly. It not only reduces external distractions, but also helps shift your brain out of work mode or doing mode and into a more open, reflective mindset. Even just moving from your desk to a comfy chair can signal to your brain it's time for a different kind of thinking.
Okay, create a clear space. What's fourth?
Fourth, boost motivation by regularly reminding yourself why you're doing this in the first place. It's easy to lose sight of the benefits when you hit that daily friction or feel tired.
Right. Keep the why front and center.
Yeah. Maybe write your main reflection goal, like more clarity or less stress, on a Post-it note and stick it where you'll see it often.
Yeah.
Your monitor, your mirror, your phone background.
Visual reminder.
Focusing on why you started can really sustain motivation during those tougher times. And also, celebrate small successes. Keep maybe an anti-to-do list, things you did accomplish, insights you gained. That fosters confidence and positive reinforcement.
Focus on wins, not just problems.
Exactly. It shifts reflection from feeling like, what did I mess up today, to what did I learn or achieve, makes the whole process much more appealing.
Nice reframe. Okay, fifth strategy.
Fifth, experiment with your environment. As we talked about with the barriers, there's no single best place to reflect. Some people actually thrive with a bit of background buzz. Others need total silence.
Right.
Don't be afraid to try different physical spaces. See what works for reflecting on different types of things. Maybe you need to be away from the office to truly reflect on work. Maybe a quiet park bench is best for personal stuff. Find your spots.
Experimentation is key. Okay, and the last one, addressing ourselves.
Finally, continuously address internal resistance. This is maybe the trickiest part. Self-insight can be uncomfortable, painful even, as you confront difficult truths or past regrets.
Yeah, the avoidance instinct is strong.
It is. So if a particular method or environment doesn't click the first time, don't just ditch reflection altogether. Instead, maybe reflect on why it didn't work for you, what felt awkward, what felt unproductive, and then, bravely, try something else.
Reflect on the reflection process itself. Meta again.
Exactly. Reflection is a practice. Like any skill learning, an instrument, a sport, anything, you get better with time and consistency. Don't get disheartened if it feels clunky or unproductive at first. Consistency, not perfection, is absolutely the goal.
That's incredibly reassuring. It sounds like it's much less about grand, unattainable gestures and way more about consistent, small acts of intentional pause. Things that can genuinely weave into the existing fabric of daily life. It really takes the pressure off, which honestly is a huge relief for many of us.
Indeed. That's exactly the idea, making it sustainable, not stressful. And while we often think of reflection as this deeply solitary act, right, an isolated journey into our own minds.
The lone thinker.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have to be. In fact, collective reflection, or what you might call reflective dialogue, can significantly enhance the process. It can lead to even deeper, more nuanced, richer insights than you might get entirely on your own.
Reflecting with others, how does that work?
It adds a whole other dimension. It turns introspection into a kind of collaborative discovery. There are some really compelling, well-researched benefits to interpersonal reflection, which is basically reflecting with other trusted people.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are the benefits?
First, it offers new, diverse perspectives. Discussing your experiences, your challenges, your insights with colleagues you trust, or good friends, or a coach, it brings different viewpoints to the table.
Seeing it through their eyes.
Exactly. They can gently challenge your assumptions, help you interpret your own actions or motivations in ways you hadn't even considered. It helps you see the world and yourself through a different lens, as one student in a study put it. This helps you move beyond your own cognitive biases and blind spots, which, let's face it, we all have. Someone else might spot a pattern you've completely missed because you're too close to it.
That makes sense. Fresh eyes are valuable. What else?
Second, it profoundly fosters enhanced empathy. When you allow yourself to be a bit vulnerable, share personal struggles or internal reflections in a supportive group or with a trusted individual, it actually fosters self-empathy, which in turn dramatically enhances your empathy for others. Remember Carl Rogers. When you truly understand and accept your own journey, struggles, and all, you cultivate a deeper capacity to understand and accept others' journeys.
Right, that parallel process again.
Exactly. It creates that parallel process in relationships. When you've extended grace to yourself during your own reflection, it becomes so much easier and more natural to extend that same grace and understanding to others.
Practicing empathy together, almost.
In a way, yes. Third, it builds powerful social connection and support. Sharing reflections on struggles, emotional experiences, problem-solving strategies, it builds a strong sense of community. It makes you feel significantly less alone in your challenges.
Yeah, knowing others feel the same way is huge.
Absolutely. This is especially valuable in online groups or remote teams where physical interaction is limited. Participants often find that their peers have remarkably similar experiences and internal struggles. That shared vulnerability strengthens their interconnectedness, their sense of shared humanity. Knowing others face similar hurdles can be incredibly validating and really reduces feelings of isolation.
Connection through shared reflection.
Thanks.
Okay, number 4.
Fourth, it dramatically leads to improved problem solving. Collective reflection can generate alternative ways of approaching or solving problems that might simply not occur to you when you're reflecting all by yourself.
Brainstorming for personal growth.
Pretty much. Seeing how peers tackled similar projects, navigated tricky conversations, or overcame specific difficulties provides invaluable comparative references and proven lessons learned. It's like having a dedicated, highly experienced brainstorming session focused just on your personal growth or professional challenges. The collective wisdom often far outweighs what one individual can come up with alone.
Yeah, leveraging the group's experience. Smart. And the last benefit.
And finally, it's excellent for making tacit knowledge explicit.
Tacit knowledge, what's that?
Tacit knowledge is that deep-seated, often unacknowledged understanding that lives within us. It's the how we do things that we don't even realize we know. It's intuitive, experience-based.
Ah, okay. So that's hard to explain.
Exactly. When people share the process of how they completed tasks, how they applied theories in practice, or the intuitive leaps they made during a project, they externalize this tacit knowledge. They turn it into explicit, shareable insights. This provides concrete, contextualized information that helps others connect abstract ideas or theories to real-world practice. It moves beyond academic concepts to tangible, applicable wisdom. It's like the difference between just reading a recipe and actually watching a master chef cook the dish, explaining every subtle nuance, every feel along the way.
Making the invisible visible. I like that. So it's not just getting feedback or being told what to do. It sounds more like a deeper co-discovery process where everyone involved learns from each other's inner worlds and practical wisdom.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it, co-discovery. It's about interpreting what we do and why we do it, actively involving ourselves and others in conversation, maybe even friendly debate. This recognition of interdependence that we learn and grow together has profound implications, not just for speeding up personal growth, but for being truly effective in any role where you interact with people, leadership, teaching, parenting, just being a good friend or partner. When you can connect your experience to others and understand the nuances of our shared human experience, you become a more capable, more empathetic, and ultimately more impactful person.
Wow, okay. But there must be a catch, right? Sharing deep reflections sounds potentially vulnerable.
You're right, there's an important caveat. While incredibly valuable, shared reflection absolutely needs a safe and trusting environment, especially when you're reflecting on private, vulnerable, or emotionally charged issues.
Safety first.
Absolutely. There's a crucial balance to strike. Reflection can sometimes veer into emotionally uncomfortable territory. The aim must always be developmental, focused on growth and understanding, making honesty feel safe and supported rather than risky or exposed. It has to be a space for profound growth, completely free of judgment or criticism. Trust is paramount for shared reflection to truly flourish.
That makes total sense. Create the safe container first.
So far, we've really dug into how reflection helps you understand yourself better, how to practically weave it into your day, and even how sharing reflections can deepen the insights. But the real profound power of making this a habit, it moves you far beyond just simple self-awareness. It promotes deep, fundamental personal change and development. It fundamentally enhances your capabilities in ways you might not even anticipate at first.
Okay, beyond awareness to actual change, how does that happen?
Well, one of the most immediate impacts people report is a heightened awareness of self. Participants in studies consistently talk about this startling, sometimes exciting, new level of self-awareness.
Startling.
Yeah, because it can completely change your entire perception of how you view your life, your relationships, your own capabilities. It often means stepping out of a long-held comfort zone, moving beyond just focusing on others, what they think, what they need, and truly exploring your own identity strengths, limitations, core values, deeply held feelings, the whole package. As one participant in a study noted, They had no idea there would be so much personal development challenges and introspection involved. It's like putting on prescription glasses for the first time and suddenly seeing your own inner and outer world in sharp, clear focus.
Seeing yourself clearly, maybe for the first time.
Exactly. And this heightened self-awareness then leads to something fascinating that Carl Rogers called the paradox of change.
The paradox of change. Okay, what's the paradox?
He observed, famously, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself as I am, then I change.
Wait, when I accept myself, I change. That sounds backwards.
Yeah.
Don't we usually think we have to fight our flaws or beat ourselves up to change them?
That's the common assumption, right? The self-improvement grind. But reflection allows you to truly see and begin to accept all parts of yourself, even the uncomfortable bits, the anger, the past rejections, the moments of laziness or disinterest, the perceived weaknesses. And when you can start to accept these aspects, integrate them rather than constantly fighting them, it makes change possible in a much more organic way. When you stop expending all that energy and resistance, when you can genuinely say, okay, this is where I am right now, the internal tension releases.
Letting go of the fight.
Precisely. It's like realizing you've been pushing with all your might against a door that was actually unlocked the whole time. That acceptance creates space. It frees up all the mental energy that was locked in self-criticism or denial, allowing you to move forward with clarity, not internal conflict. Change happens more subtly, almost without you consciously forcing it because the resistance is gone.
Acceptance enables change. That's a profound shift in thinking.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this liberation, this self-acceptance, leads directly to unlocking personal potential.
How so?
Through deep, consistent introspection, people start to realize their tremendous inherent value, their untapped potential things that might have been hidden, ignored, or just undervalued for years, maybe even decades. Reflection can actively challenge those rigid thinking patterns, those limiting beliefs that have held you back. I'm not good enough. I can't do that. It courageously encourages a more proactive, open, growth-oriented approach to life.
So it breaks down mental barriers.
Yes. People become more open to new experiences. They start to embrace challenges as opportunities rather than feeling them. They gain profound confidence in their choices and in their ability to adapt and learn. It fosters this internal mandate of continual personal growth, a recognition that stagnation is almost like giving up on yourself. As one person shared from their reflection journey, they adopted a mandate of continual personal growth, which I feel is necessary to maintain all throughout my career and indeed my life. I never want to lose my insight and understanding, nor do I ever want to think that I've become all that I can be. Stagnation is like giving up on myself.
Wow. Stagnation is like giving up on myself. That's powerful. So this really isn't just about tweaking habits or fixing problems. What you're describing sounds like a fundamental resculpting of self, unlocking dormant capabilities, moving beyond just self-improvement into something more like true self-actualization. That, to me, is where it gets really interesting. It's about becoming more fully human, perhaps.
Exactly. That's a beautiful way to put it. And beyond those deep personal transformations, reflection also helps you organize and understand information and experiences in a much more profound and interconnected way. This is especially vital in today's world, just drowning in information.
Okay. How does it help with organizing information?
It significantly aids in increasing depth of knowledge. By consciously revisiting and reviewing material you've learned or replaying daily experiences in your mind, reflection forces you to really digest what was just accomplished. This isn't just about recalling facts. It's actively applying and analyzing them in real-life situations. Seeing how theories actually operate in the messy, real world, this leads to much deeper understanding and reinforces new knowledge in a way that passive learning just can't.
So it connects theory to practice.
Perfectly. One student described it like this. Reflections helped me understand the assignments because I thought about them more deeply. It made me analyze the theories a little more because I revisited them after the assignments were completed. I think that it is a good learning tool to come back to a theory after learning about it so that you can analyze it and see if it was effective in a real-life situation. It's the difference between knowing a fact and truly understanding it.
That makes sense. Deeper processing.
Reflection is also instrumental in identifying gaps and deficiencies in your understanding or how you execute things.
Finding the weak spots.
Exactly. It allows for honest self-evaluation, helping you pinpoint unclear areas, figure out what you missed, or identify where improvements are needed. This empowers you to modify your approach for future tasks and efficiently find the best way to do things for you.
Hmm.
As another student put it, reflection is a good way to look inside myself and see what I felt was working well and what was not. It also allowed me time to reflect so I could make any changes necessary to better the situation moving forward. It turns mistakes or shortcomings into valuable lessons rather than just sources of frustration or shame.
Learning from mistakes constructively.
Okay, and perhaps most powerfully, in terms of structure, it helps in building structural connections in knowledge.
Structural connections, what do you mean?
When reflection is embedded in a progressive learning design, think about how one course builds on another, or how one life experience informs the next. It helps you see the crucial interconnections between different pieces of knowledge or experience.
Seeing the links.
Yes. You start to understand how they fit into a larger coherent picture. You see how knowledge itself transforms, maybe hierarchically, from concrete experiences, this specific project failed because, to more generalized, abstract understanding. Okay, communication breakdowns often lead to project failure.
From specific to general principles.
Precisely. This is a profound metacognitive aspect. It helps you understand your own learning process, how your brain constructs understanding, and how new information seamlessly integrates into your existing mental framework. You're not just collecting isolated facts anymore. You're building a robust, interconnected, dynamic web of understanding that grows stronger and more complex with every reflective pause.
So it's like creating a really clear, dynamic mental map of your learning in your life.
Yeah.
Not just collecting facts in separate, disconnected folders. It helps you see the entire landscape of what you know, how it all connects, how it contributes to the larger story as who you are becoming. Okay, wow. What does this all mean for us then, as listeners, in our daily lives, right here, right now?
It means that reflection isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have activity. It's a truly foundational skill, an often overlooked secret weapon, really, that has the power to transform how you interact with yourself, with others, and with the world around you in every single moment. It's fundamentally about living with intention, rather than just constantly reacting to whatever life throws at you.
Living with intention. That captures it well. Okay, so this deep dive has really shown us that reflection is far more than just quiet contemplation or some kind of academic exercise.
Absolutely.
It's a dynamic, incredibly powerful habit that directly impacts your well-being, your relationships, your effectiveness at work, your overall sense of purpose. It enables that profound self-awareness we talked about, builds empathy, strengthens decision-making, and fuels continuous personal growth that can quite literally transform who you are and what you feel capable of.
It's foundational.
From using specific, pointed questions that unlock deep insights, to engaging in daily journaling, maybe even structured self-assessment. We've seen there are practical, accessible ways to integrate this crucial pause into everyday life, making it a powerful source of both peace and productivity. It really is about working smarter, not just harder, on yourself.
Well said.
So, the call to action here is, don't wait for a crisis to force you to reflect. Don't let busyness be your go-to excuse anymore. Start small, really small.
Yes, start small.
Pick just one question from the many we touched on today, or find one online. Maybe tonight, just take 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, to jot down one thing you learned today, or how you truly felt during a specific situation. Aim for good enough, not perfection.
Crucial. Good enough is perfect.
And remember, the lifelong journey of continuous discovery, it's not a destination you just arrive at and check off. Those smallest consistent steps, even taken imperfectly, can lead to the biggest, most profound transformations over time.
Consistency over intensity.
Exactly. So here's a final thought to leave you with. What if the biggest secret to living a life filled with clarity, purpose, and passion isn't actually about finding more time or adding more things to your plate? What if it's about truly inhabiting the moments you already have, turning every single experience, the good, the bad, the totally mundane, into an unparalleled opportunity for profound growth? What hidden insights about yourself, about your potential, about your unique path are waiting just beneath the surface right now, ready to be uncovered by the simple yet powerful habit of reflection? Go forth, pause, and discover.